All right. The Son of the Wolf by Jack London, the U.S. author born in 1876, died in 1916. This is I believe, his first published collection of short stories. They're kind of adventure, nature survival, kind of the colonial project in a way. It's a short book. It was I think it's 114 pages. I got it on, obviously, Project Gutenberg. Yeah, the setting is generally, it's the North. We're talking the Yukon, Klondike, North. It's the maybe the final frontier, which Jack London did quite a job of portraying at least the kind of the white viewpoint of that project of the taking of the North, and taking it from the native peoples of the North, who are still very much around at this point, even though if you look at the history, this is very, very decimated, very regulated native populations. Maybe not so much in the North. I actually am, sadly, I do not have that much knowledge. I know for Canada and the prairies and stuff like that, we're just probably coming out of the absolute nadir of the native populations being shoved on reserves and starved to death, and shoved into schools, residential schools. This is the kill the native, save the child kind of policy in Canada. I think further north they might have actually escaped some of that. At very least, that doesn't get dealt with in a Jack London story. So let's quickly just go through the stories. I'll tell you kind of very brief little synopsis of it. So we start off with The White Silence, which where there's two men and a woman in the wilderness. It's basically one of the guys gets crushed by a tree and ends up having to be killed for mercy. Notable that one of the men, the surviving man, is the Malamute Kid, who actually is a reoccurring character through all these stories. All these stories share the same universe. There's the Son of the Wolf, where Scruff Mackenzie goes to a native tribe, intent on getting a wife, and ends up having to fight one of the other guys for it. And this is where you get basically the law of the Son of the Wolf. Basically, if you kill one Son of the Wolf, a white, then you'll end up getting retribution of 10 will die. This is very much we are the superior blood. We're the superior race, civilization. We're here to take. We're going to take the resources. We're going to take the women, stuff like that. And then there's the Men of 40 Mile, where we get kind of a camp life of a lot of just very male dominated society, where they're in a camp, and two of the guys, Bettles and Lon McFarlane, are arguing. They're having an argument over how ice freezes. Does it freeze from below, or does it freeze from the top? The Malamute Kid in this one prevents the duel, with Scruff Mackenzie helping. We have a notable thing of one of the dogs is gone mad, Yellow Fang, and ends up getting shot dead because it's attacking dogs and men. Then there's In a Far Country, where we get basically two dilettante layabouts, one who is a gentleman, one who is a clerk, and how they basically they're not suited for this life. They end up spending a winter in an isolated cabin all alone, and go mad. And they does not end well for them. To the Man on the Trail, this is where the Malamute Kid, Bettles, and Scruff are visited by a stranger who's on the run from the police, and we find out that he's taken some money, but maybe there's more behind it, and where the sympathies lie of the Malamute Kid and his compadres towards this guy is done. Next we have the Priestly Prerogative. where Father Rambeau, who is another reoccurring character in all these stories, he convinces a wife to stay with her husband, and maybe he kind of regrets that. He regrets that decision. There's definitely kind of the role of a woman in this society, and how it's just you can't violate. Women are trapped by that. It's definitely told from a male perspective, though. We get Wisdom of the Trail, where a mixed blood guy, mixed Métis, I don't know if he's Métis, guy, Sitka Charlie, ends up executing two fellow natives for abandoning their duties to a white man. That's got some messages there. The wife of a king kind of goes into this whole thing of a lot of these prospectors, they're all up there for gold, have come up to this country, and they've taken native wives, but now white women have come along and they've ruined things. They've made all these guys feel ashamed for having native wives, and encourage them to abandon their native wives, and at the very least not take them out in country. So it's really all the white women's fault that the native women are having such a hard time. And these are good wives, good workhorses for the white men. In this story, Cal Galbraith neglects his wife Madeleine, who is a native woman, who he wooed away from a tribe, a la Scruff Mackenzie at the start of this. Malamute Kid, there's kind of almost like a Dr. Doolittle. They gussy her up, they train her up so that at a mass ball, they get to play a trick on Cal Galbraith and make him regret and feel shame for what he does, and also break the taboo of you're not allowed to have native women at public events events like this. And then finally we have the Wife of the King and the Odyssey, and Odyssey of the North, which is the final one, are both a little bit longer. Odyssey of North is the longest, I think, which is almost kind of like an Icelandic revenge saga, where Nas of the Cllctn, we find out quite deep into the story that is his name, enacts a revenge against Axel Gunderson for stealing his wife away from his tribe. It's definitely an echo of the Son of the Wolf at the beginning of this thing, but leaves Nas alive, and he slowly tracks them down. They don't recognize him because it's been so long. He's gone all over the world searching for them. He's a very much changed man, and he enacts his revenge. And at the end of that story, one of the other characters is saying to the Malamute Kid, because it's framed as the stranger is telling his story to the Malamute Kid, and Prince, the other white prospector there, it's like, well, this is murder. And the Malamute Kid very much going, well, no, this is beyond good and evil. This is beyond, we can't judge this, which is an interesting kind of a contrast to the whole kind of stated thing of the son of a wolf at the beginning of the Son of the Wolf story, where it's just like, you cannot fight, you cannot beat white men in this thing. So that actually complicates things slightly, that you have two different interactions here. I mean, it doesn't work out well for Nas of the Cllctn. He is definitely a broken guy who at the end just feels like he can't go back to his tribe. So this is a very strong opening collection from Jack London, and I really like. I know, like in science fiction, they have fix-up novels where they'll take a bunch of stories and they'll take stories and they'll either expand them or they'll find some way to join them together to make it a novel. And this is just about there. I mean, but all the stories, having the Malamute Kid in them, this general community, this general world that he's built up over all these various stories is good. There is definitely a lot of stuff like, well, white people are just obviously better than native people. That is definitely the dominant ideology of the time. That, of course, white civilization is the superior culture. It's definitely the more powerful culture. It's the one that bashed, that pushed all these people off their own land and, became, fuck things up for a long time for Native peoples. So yeah, I enjoyed this. Jack London's he's definitely got kind of the pulpy, or it's early pulpy style, if you can tell. It's like driving narratives, like a good kind of heightened language that you get in pulp fiction. And I can see someone like Robert E. Howard, the creator of Conan, and his stories with a Malamute Kid and Conan would sort of get along together. And I mean, I know Robert E. Howard wrote like cowboy stories, and I can see, those kind of stories kind of translating to the North as well. As I don't think Robert E. Howard did North stories, but you can tell he probably read someone like Jack London, and there's probably an influence there, or an echo. I mean, Jack London is definitely entering into a world where magazines are becoming popular and they need short stories, and so this became a viable career in the United States, where you could like write stories and make a good living, which is what Jack London most definitely did. So yes, that is The Son of the Wolf by Jack London. I have been Jay, and more videos later.